China, the country with a social credit system, 1.4 billion people, 200 million cameras, and where everyone spends their day praising the Chinese Communist Party. Well, not exactly, but there is a tendency in the West to look at China as the other, to make fun of them, to criticize them. But today I want to look at the Chinese social credit system in a fair light. I want to understand what it is, why it was created, and how it has affected Chinese people's lives. The Chinese social credit system is a system where each citizen gets a score from 0 to 1100 based on how they behave. It's a system that has been tested in a few Chinese regions since 2009 with the goal of assessing the trustworthiness of Chinese individuals, companies, and government entities. At a basic level, the idea is very simple. It's a score that lets me know if I can trust you or that lets you know if you can trust me. And the origin of the idea came from the 1970s when Deng Xiaoping, the former president of China, had what we call the open door policy. It was a policy that he was putting in place to attract foreign investors into China. But at the time, China was a poor country with a lot of corruption and a lot of issues. So investors and the international community did not really trust China. Let's just say that they had a bad reputation for making fake stuff, made in China, like fake baby powder, fake Gucci shoes, and fake everything.
How much for this one?
Oh, this 280.
280.
So for China to have this open door policy and attract foreign investors, they needed to have a reliability score that could help them bring investors. Fast forward to 2009, they officially started formulating the idea of having a social credit system. If you think about it, this idea is not really unique to China. In countries like the US, they have the FICO score. In Germany, they have the Schufa score. And those are scores that let you know whether you can trust an individual to take a loan or get an apartment and things like that. But the really scary thing and why the social credit system in China is such a big deal is that unlike the system in Germany or the US or other Western countries, this system affects every single aspect of your life, and not just the financial aspect, like if you can take a loan at the bank. It affects your dating life, where your kids can go to school, and how long you're gonna have to wait at the hospital.
Restricted to only a low-speed internet connection, a ban on renting hotels, and the weirdest of all, potentially becoming the subject of extensive public shaming campaigns. Lower score citizens may have their photos and ID numbers placed on big LED screens at busy public intersections or displayed on movie screens at theaters before the movie plays, like a weird kind of ad where you're supposed to laugh at real people. But
the score is very invasive, and that is why many critics don't like this system. On the good side, it can improve your life, give you access to government services faster, go to hospital and don't have to wait a long time, or it can make your life a living hell on earth, where you can be shamed in public, your dating life is affected, and your kids don't go to the best schools possible. This rating system is a bit like the Black Mirror episode, where basically everyone was rating each other. Unlike the Black Mirror episode, in China, people are not rating each other. The government is rating you because they are always watching you through the cameras they have in the country.
Already seems like sci-fi. What do you think the future will look like in like 5 years?
Have you seen a film just like Black Mirror? You just stand there and your face there is a point. So maybe that is the future.
But that's like a horror show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When you live in a society where the people designing a system like the social credit system are inspired by horror movies, it's not really the best sign. And in China, you can actually lose point or gain point based on every single action you take. Like if you cross the street without waiting for the red light, you're going to lose point. And because of this, it creates a system where you have snitches going around and just noting down every action that people are doing in the community.
Aini is retired, but when her town was brought into a new government program, her services were required. Now, she gets paid about $50 a month to watch and record the lives of her 3,000 neighbors, as one of 6 so-called information collectors.
this is where the boundaries are blurred. The moral issue with such a system like that is that every human interaction becomes transactional. Your life becomes dictated by the score. You're living your life based on a system of rewards and punishment, where every single one of your actions and even thoughts that you may share on social media is watched and you can be condemned for it. Your personal liberties are stripped away and you start living in what feels like a prison on earth. And you may say that, yes, we are looking at this from the Western point of view, so we may be biased, but when you actually look at some of the Chinese people going through this experiment, they are not liking it.
蓝旗要清理一下，印子味儿上面要检查。
我是听，
就是这个，我告诉你一下。
我这当然了嘛，走都不能走，你还这。
就是这个的是能用东西打一下就打一下啊。
我不能弄，我们也不能弄。
不能弄，等着孩子来家帮你整理哈。
孩子来家弄的。
The issue with such a system is that it makes life better for the rich and it makes life worse for the poor people. The rich become richer, the poor become poorer. That's a story we've heard 1,000 times. But a system like this, unfortunately, codifies it into how people behave at a large scale, and minority groups are often the people that are the most affected by such systems.
Uyg'urlarga nishonli qaratilgan bir xil sistema. Chunki bir Xitoydek bir davlatda biz bir oz sonliq millat hisoblanadigan bir millatda milliy madaniyat siyosiy harakatninki birinchi hujum nishoni bo'ladi.
As the saying goes, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. The social credit system in China started with good intentions, increased trust in society. But as we are seeing, it is turning into some kind of dystopian society where you're living your life by the score, and it is creating a normative culture where unique identities are suppressed and large behavioral changes are taking place at a large scale in society. It is also important for me, to be fair, to add a little bit of nuance here. This system was supposed to go live in China in the entire country by 2020. But of course, with the pandemic that happened in 2020, they were not able to deploy the system in the entire country. Many of these regions that had started testing the system since 2014 have actually rolled back on the system or have tried to change it slightly. In some cases, you only get rewarded for your good action and you do not get punished for your bad action. And in some regions, you actually have the choice to opt into the system if you want to participate or not. So this story is still playing out as you are speaking, and I don't know where this is going to go, but I believe it is something worth paying attention to because this system has actually kind of started spreading outside of China. In Australia, for example, they have implemented in one city a system that is inspired by the Chinese social credit system. And maybe it is only a matter of time before other societies start looking at this more closely. Will this happen on a large scale? I don't think so. Is it possible? Maybe. Because at the end of the day, as I said, this system started with the goal of increasing trust in society. And now it is leading us to somewhere like this. Well, maybe it's going to just create a society where everyone is just loving and praising the Chinese Communist Party every day. With that said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ned Lord. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button. I want to hear your thoughts. If you have anything to share, please share them in the comments below. Bye for now.